So Mom was born. Mom was born in a village called Zhongshan in China on July 22nd, 1930. She lived on a farm and grew up surrounded by rice fields and live chickens and ducks running around. I think they ate them. In 1949, at the young age of 19, Mom left her family, including her mother, her sister, and 3 brothers, and came to America in hopes of a better life. She met Golden-Cheng, who was soon to be my father. She met him shortly after arriving, and they got married in Reno, Nevada. Mom and Dad opened a grocery store in West Oakland where they raised 4 children. Regan was the firstborn. Then I came a year later. 3 years later, my late sister Sharon was born. And 1 year after that, my little brother Dale was born. Our grandmother and grandfather lived with us behind the store. It was tight living quarters, but we didn't know any different. So we only have very fond memories of the times we lived so closely together. Mom had mentioned stories about, a lot of stories about the store. One of them that makes me laugh is that she, after we were born, she had to go out and do stock groceries in the store, and she sometimes carried one of us on her back. Other times, because Regan and I were only a year apart, she would carry one of us in the front and one of us on her back. I'm like, wow, Mom. So Dad was a butcher and Mom worked on the deli counter, making sandwiches for factory workers from around the area. They came and had their regular sandwiches daily, and she always had them ready for her. They were a good team when they ran the store. Mom had 5 grandchildren. The eldest is Sharon's daughter, Janelle, who is now married to Jonathan Hudson. And there are Brandon and Tessa, who are Regan's children, and Dale Jr., who we affectionately call Dede, and Toya, who are Dale and Margie's children. No children for Tom and I. She also survived by 4 great-grandchildren. So Janelle and Michael Bess's daughter, Imani, Janelle and Jonathan's daughter, Lorraine, as well as Dede and Chira's children, Dejan and Dalen. In 1968, she lost her husband and we lost our dad in a tragic situation. Mom became a widow at 38 with 4 children, ages 17, 16, 14, and 13 to raise on her own. She couldn't run the store by herself, so we had to shut it down. With only a 6th grade education, little to no English, and no experience outside of working in the grocery store, she was faced with a tough road ahead. For a couple of years, our family survived on Social Security benefits and managed meals using food stamps. And I have to say this because we had a lot of help in our family. It was a blessing to have the assistance of our cousin, who we affectionately call Auntie Helen, to help Mom fill out all the necessary paperwork to get approvals through the system. Caring and generous neighbors and friends often brought bags of groceries by. Mom supplemented the Social Security income by doing any odd jobs she was able to get. She cleaned houses for a while, but without a car, it was difficult. She also worked in a plastic bag factory, as well as a hair, food, and dye company, both of which were within walking distance of our house, so she was able to get there. She even got a job scooping ice cream at Woolworths at one point. She took the 14 bus downtown to get to this job. The bus cost 10 cents each way, and I think she was making 90 cents an hour. It didn't matter how small or menial the jobs were, she was a proud working woman. She taught us that life was not a bowl of cherries. She'd say, do what you have to do and work hard to get what you want. She emphasized that as long as we have our health, we could do whatever we wanted. She started attending English as a second language classes and vocational training. This helped improve her ability to not only gain opportunities, but also helped her communication skills. She was eager to learn and made friends easily. Her attitude was such that people wanted to help her. We are very appreciative of the efforts the late Mrs. Mew put forth in helping Mom navigate the ins and outs of this trying effort for her. Mom took the bus everywhere. She got tired of relying on the bus schedules and decided to learn to drive. After getting her license, she went out and bought herself a brand new Toyota Corolla. She was so proud of herself and this achievement. Feeling the independence of taking herself around with her new car, she was able to branch out. At one point, she took a job with a marketing firm, and it required her to work at different locations. And her responsibilities included setting up tables in stores like Lucky's to promote products and do demonstrations or simply just give out samples. She really enjoyed this job because it allowed her to talk to people. We didn't have GPS in those days, so Mom learned to navigate the roads quite well. In 1973, through a connection of a really good friend of hers, the late Auntie Ruby, she introduced us to Uncle Marshall, who helped Mom get her foot in the door for an interview and was hired by a company called Owens, Illinois, and Corning and Glass, where she worked as an assembly line selector. Learning this new job was challenging enough, but keeping up with the day swing and graveyard shift work hours was a greater challenge. She was often tired, but tried to maintain as normal of a schedule as possible in terms of eating and keeping in touch with us kids. She was tired, but never complained, as she felt blessed to have a permanent full-time job with benefits, including health, sick days, vacation, and best of all, she would get a pension if she stayed long enough. In 1981, Mom moved from Oakland to San Leandro. Regan helped her buy a cute ranch-style 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house. It was her dream. She enjoyed her new neighborhood and made friends with everyone on her street. In 1985, her brother Kenny and his family moved to California. He was originally from China and moved here from Hong Kong with his family. And she said she was very excited to have her people nearby. Mom loved to talk and tell stories of her early years in China. She kept in touch with the family by writing letters, sending photos, and she called periodically. I remember addressing letters for her that she had written in Chinese. In those days, it took over 2 weeks for a letter to arrive at its destination, even with airmail. Because of long distance bills, she would only speak with her China family once or twice a year. She missed the family dearly. Finally, in 1989, after living in America for 40 years, we took Mom to China to visit her home. The entire clan arrived at the border to meet her, and all the village neighbors turned out at the news of her return. It was a wonderful reunion for Mom, as she spent a week in China with the family doing what they do, including sleeping on a hard mattress with a block under her head as a pillow. They visited for 7 days and nights, eating, chatting, and catching up on 40 years without missing a beat. Mom retired from Owens, Illinois in 1995. She was thrilled. She got her pension. Mom had met a nice man named Philip while she worked at Owens, Illinois. After 25 years of friendship and dating, they got married in 2009. They celebrated their 10th anniversary last November. Meeting Philip was a life-changing moment for Mom. Little did she know she would meet this wonderful man with a huge heart who was kind and generous. They took trips to Sonoma on the weekends with Philip's mother Mary and his brother George. They went to Carson City to visit Philip's Aunt Eleanor. They went to Las Vegas and Universal Cities. They often went to casinos, and they've got some lucky stories to share. You can talk to him about that at the reception. My mom especially appreciated retirement because it gave her time and peace of mind to go on longer trips, including a cruise to Mexico. She got to go to Chicago to meet and visit Tom's family. We went on multiple trips to Hawaii. She loved sitting by the pool and running in the water on the beach. She was very alive and very fun no matter where she went. In the end, when the dementia started, started setting in, she was still cute and still had her sense of humor. She would make comments like, "Oh, your mother's getting old." Or she'd say, "I can't remember. Did I already say that?" And she would laugh at herself. She was ridiculous. As years went by, I started to admire my mom a great deal. She was smart, funny and witty, kind, compassionate, and a hardworking lady. She was always positive and cheering each one of us on. Mom ever only wanted her children to be healthy and happy and to respect one another. She was always smiling and cheerful and greeted everyone the same way. She was grateful for every person who helped her along the way. She treasured her relationships with her good friends. And she taught us to be kind and to appreciate what she referred to as real people. Mom was a vibrant woman with a young and generous heart. She loved to talk and tell stories. She was extremely positive despite the challenges and hardships that crossed her path. We are very proud of the way Mom picked up the pieces and did everything she could to make sure we were taken care of. She certainly was an amazing woman. She was a wonderful role model for us. She was a rock. Thank you, Mom, for your unconditional love, your beautiful personality, for your strength, and for never giving up when the times were tough. I will never stop loving you. Thank you.